This is a great point.
But does time exist in intergalactical? That's the proper thing.
Let's back up from intergalactical. I'm not there yet.
That's way.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
That's way farther.
So,
out.
Before we get there, we started our whole conversation about perspective. Began because of you mentioning when you lay in bed that you feel that you are able to reach a point of what I called the source or nirvana. You referred to as the middle ground.
Yes.
And as reading online defining by nirvana's terms, it would be a transcendental state. Transcendent.
Yes.
Transcendent state. Yes, a transcendent state. So, you referred to it as the middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
And I referred to it as the source.
Right.
Yeah. So something that you pointed out as being really difficult, and I want you to just keep talking on this because I'm about to mention it. So I want you to give your spiel. Is about
Danny crisis. Yeah. The Danny crisis and how you can. I don't think that's actually possible. I think that was just a theory.
No, that was a very good point. You should say that again.
Well, I was mentioning that people who have what's called a Danny crisis is not because they don't know who they are, but it's because they're switching back and forth on what dimension they want to be a part of. And the point at which they have a crisis at is the middle part, the between point, and they can't figure out whether you want to go to this dimension or another dimension. I believe that's what causes an interdimensional crisis. I would say.
Interdimensional crisis. And that interdimensional crisis.
You don't know it, but I think theoretically, I think you are part of a.
I deal with one.
Yeah, you're connected to it almost, in a way.
Who is?
Your body. Like you're like. It's transcendent without you even knowing it is.
Transcendent probably is the not.
Because it has no inner self.
That is your inner self.
No, it just said it doesn't have inner self.
Transcendent?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, the Buddhism.
We're talking about nirvana.
Says that, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if that's false, then I don't know.
What's false?
Because if your body, if your body can't be inner self, then you're really nothing. You're really just you're I don't know how to describe it, but you're not air. You're just like you're nothing. And
you're like, within the void.
Yeah, exactly.
The void, the space in between.
Yeah, you're not.
You are
just
you
like
are
a
the
black
space
hole.
in between.
You're nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I don't understand is why does if a black hole is nothing, then why does it have color and noise? Why can it produce that?
It can?
Yes. You can see the video that they have. They launched the first video of.
It sounds like a vacuum.
Exactly.
Which it's like.
But what is a black hole? If you think about it.
My brain's not there.
If you think about it, it's actually.
My brain's not at that level.
Think about it. If you go back to Star Wars, right? What are they called?
Good idea.
What are those things called? When you travel through time, what's that thing called?
Talking about hidden light speed.
Yeah, yes, there you go.
Time. It's warp speed.
Exactly, warp speed.
Warp speed, because you are warping the space and time. Because you're moving so fast, you're moving past the speed of light.
Exactly.
Oh wait, no. It's light speed. No. Light speed is how I believe the Millennium Falcon typically does its thing, but then warp speed is it's something that they've done as well in the movies, but it does have to do with warping. It might be a time fold. Anyone can comment and correct any of this.
Well, think about it.
Do that.
There is a possibility that there is another side of the black hole. The black hole isn't just an empty space surrounded by nothingness. It actually has an outer shell that leads to another dimension. I've heard some speculation about that. Now you can say whatever you want. You can say I'm wrong, but I don't know. I might be wrong too, but that's just what I've heard. But it would make sense, because that would understand how warping would make sense. But if you just said that it folds over, then that proves the point that time is not.
I might need to search that up. I don't know too much about the.
Which proves the point that time is not, after all, unlimited. There's always a origin.
Space and time folding is when you travel faster than light.
Right, but it's not stretching out, so it's definitely going back to.
So you cause the space
That's making sense.
and time continuum to fold upon itself.
Therefore, it's not continuous. It's a cycle.
Where did this idea come from? Is this from Dune?
It's a cycle.
It might be from Dune.
Therefore, if you were to, in mathematics, if you were, that means all continuous numbers are actually non-continuous.
Very cool. Back to the space folding concept. Looks like it originated from the Dune books. I'm not sure if you saw that movie.
Technically, yeah, it loops around, but how long would it take to loop around? That's the question.
Time?
Yes. How much time and how much? What was it? Time in minutes? You said?
Because currently,
or speed.
Our idea of the timeline is moving from left to right. So
that is a good point.
If he said, we're referencing that video, it's for like 13 years old, of like that kid that knows everything about dimensions and breaks it down really well with a folder and some connector blocks. So I just lost my train of thought saying that.
Continuous.
Yeah, so we're talking about a timeline, and you were wondering, when would the time become a full circle? Well, thus far, in the amount of years we've had, we've projected that in a straight line. Throughout history, it seems that we've drawn, at least Western cultures, depicted it as a left to right kind of timeline, as that's what we read. But if it is to be having curvature due to it ending and connecting, as in full circle, then
wait a minute.
Why do we depict time on the first dimensional plane?
There's no time. Because there is an origin, which therefore means that every single planet had an origin. Now, if you combine all of those origins together, that's the formula of how to connect. Let me figure it out. I think if you connect every single point in time which the planet was created, but no, but that's unexpectedly. That doesn't cause by.
Mhm.
But space stretches out, so therefore, it must move closer. No, that just rebuttals. That's a rebuttal right there. What I was going to say was that if our Earth ends 7 billion years from now, and if we were to find out how long Mars would last for, if you add those 2 years together, plus the other planets involved in our Milky Way, you could find out how much time it would be that the Milky Way was formed. But I don't know. You can figure out how much time it took for a galaxy to form. And if you add all the galaxies together, you could possibly find out how long it took for a dimension to form.
Well, galaxies are within the universe, and then the universe is within a dimension.
I don't really know the difference between universe versus galaxy.
Well, okay, so let's break that down real quick. We are a person.
Mm-hmm.
We're human beings on a planet that's located on the Milky Way galaxy. In the Milky Way galaxy.
Right.
There's a few other galaxies. They're within the greater universe. I do not know the title of this universe, but I can probably find that out real quick. That'll take time away from this conversation, so no.
Just keep on
Yeah,
going.
so we have the universe, and our universe is within the 3D dimension, because everything physical is within the 3D dimension, because that is the plants, the animals, the asphalt, the rug on our ground is 3D. But also, we have stood on the moon.
No.
We have also sent a robot to...
Wait.
Oh, I'm not done.
You're going away from your point.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And my point is that within our galaxy, to our best of understanding, we have explored that there is third dimension throughout the galaxy. It can be said that the other galaxies are also going to have the third dimension applied to them. All within our universe. But we haven't compared, and our universe is within a dimension, the third dimension. It's all within the third dimension. So, if there's a third dimensional universe, then why isn't there a second dimensional universe? Or a fourth dimensional universe? That are laid atop, existent, with our very space and time.
Because space
No.
is
Are you-
not. Space actually has an origin, which is why it makes. No, I'm sorry.
What are you talking
Intergalactical
about?
dimensions had an origin.
We're not talking about that. Are we?
Yes.
We are.
Because in order for
Yes, this is an intergalactic conversation,
intergalactic, a multi-dimensional
You don't. No.
intergalactic.
No. We are still not on multi-dimensional. We are throwing too many words out there. We are on
Yeah.
multi-dimensional. We are not on multi-universe. So we've covered that the third dimension
Oh, so on that.
is, yes, we have to be on that, because if we go too far forward, then we lose our base in reality. That's the most important thing with having a good philosophical / theoretical conversation, is you have to find your base back in reality. Very important.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
if we're going intergalactic and we're on fucking Earth, we can't be going there because we can't. But what I was trying to get at is,
No, of course.
if Earth
Uh-huh.
is a third dimensional space,
Mhm.
there could also be a first dimensional space that exists in the same space as the third dimensional space,
No.
and a second dimensional space can exist in the same space, but they are
How that
all
works.
not able to perceive each other in the same way,
That's
but they are
impossible.
all there.
No.
My question would be, if people comment about ghosts, and you brought this up earlier, people make comments about ghosts. Where are the ghosts? And my point that I was going to try to make right now is that, what if there's a light dimension? We said, from our drawing, let's say that from our drawing, we have first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, fourth dimension. And the fourth dimension is not a great drawing. So, if a light beam is in the second dimension, it is on a plane. Light is on a plane. Right? Light runs on a
I
plane.
know that for sure.
Let's figure that out real quick.
Or is it just like a roundabout again? We don't know any of that either. Oh, the light, all we know is light transfers sound.
Light dimensions.
Well, light dimensions is what's that's just the
There are actually many dimensions of light. So I sound like a fool.
what do you mean dimensions? Yeah, it's how you travel there.
Does light travel
I think we're getting too Flash now. How he was able to.
in a...
No, but that was planets. That was planets in different years. Oh no, I'm confused now. This is too much.
Alright,
There's
back
years.
to it. Light is electromagnetic radiation and therefore travels through 6 dimensions. Can light exist in 2 dimensions? Yes, light exists in 1 plus 2 dimensions. The first and third dimensions, light 100% exists in. So this is where I was trying to go with it.
What is the
We are
farthest lights?
3-dimensional beings.
Okay.
You mentioned, I believe, that there was something about could there be a 4th dimensional being? Well, I pose, before we get to the 4th dimensional being, there could be 2nd dimensional beings and 1st dimensional beings.
No, 'cause
That would be our ghosts. And those beings only exist when we perceive them within a void or an overabundance of light. When someone sees a ghost, they typically see some kind of aura of light coming from them. Or it is not a ghost, but it is a shadow person, and you are dealing with the shadow realm. So these are different dimensions that people report seeing beings on, that I'm believing we can only perceive through the 1st and 2nd dimension, which means they would have to exist there, but might be wrong. I don't know. Also, I'm sorry if I feel like I'm lecturing my bro.
Hey, just so you know, this is not all true. So don't go to your teacher and be like, don't be saying all this stuff because you might make yourself look stupid that way.
But go to your uncle and ask him about it.
No, go to your. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Go to some scientists and just spit these things out and see what they think about them. only Stephen Hawking were still alive. Oh man, he almost
The
had
goat.
things figured. He almost had it all figured out.